Actually, it's interesting. Sounds rather sort of bizarre, but I did go to Diana's coffin the day after I'd written it.
The innocence about her, you just thought, wow, this girl is knockout.
In a surprising turn, Charles Spencer, Princess Diana's only brother, opens up in a way he never has before. After years of silence surrounding his family's darkest moments, he is now sharing deeply personal stories that reveal new sides to his sister's life, their upbringing, and his own battles. This first-hand account may cause many to rethink what they believed about the Spencer family. Stay with us to learn more. Earl Charles Spencer, the younger brother of the late Princess Diana, has long been outspoken in preserving her legacy. For years, he's used his voice to bring attention to the challenges Diana faced while being part of the British royal family and the immense pressure that came with her global fame. In a recent interview and through his newly published memoir, Spencer provides a more personal glimpse into Diana's life and the emotional challenges he's faced himself. These disclosures have once again sparked public conversation about the realities of life tied to royalty. Spencer goes into detail about the emotional burden Diana carried, focusing on how she was constantly watched and judged by both the press and the monarchy. He has often drawn comparisons between the intense media attention Diana faced and the scrutiny aimed at current members of the royal family, stressing how much more severe it was during her time. Her untimely death in 1997, which happened in a car crash while paparazzi chased her in Paris, remains a powerful example of the risks that came with such exposure. Spencer has continued to criticize those he holds responsible, and his memorable eulogy at her funeral sharply blamed the press, while recognizing Diana as one of the most followed women of her time. In his memoir, Spencer also turns the spotlight on his own life, revealing how his early years shaped him. He shares painful memories of abuse from his childhood, both at home and during his time at boarding school. He describes how a culture of silence at school allowed abuse to go unchallenged and recalls the physical discipline he received from a nanny when he was young. These accounts show his belief in the need to speak openly about abuse, even when it's difficult or socially uncomfortable. Spencer explains that writing about these experiences and discussing them in interviews helped him begin a journey toward healing. Revisiting these memories while working on his memoir was both difficult and freeing. It pushed him to confront unresolved issues and led him to seek therapy and begin practices like Tai Chi and breathing techniques to support his recovery. He openly says that his goal was to become a better father and release himself from emotional baggage that had followed him for much of his life. Along with these deeply personal revelations, Spencer also offers a look into his life today, including his relationship with archaeologist Dr. Kat Jarman. What began as a work-related connection developed into something deeper, and he now describes this relationship as different from anything he's experienced before. This period of his life, which includes emotional growth and a greater sense of openness, stands in contrast to his earlier, more troubled relationships, including 3 marriages that ended in divorce. His reflections not only honor Diana's memory, but also highlight his ability to overcome personal challenges. By being open about his experiences, he has encouraged wider conversations about mental health, the lasting effects of trauma, and the challenges of living in the public eye. As Earl Spencer continues to speak on behalf of Diana and works through his own journey, his story reminds us of how privilege and pain can exist side by side. His path shows that facing past wounds, allowing oneself to be vulnerable, and working toward personal growth are all essential, no matter how difficult that process may be. Spencer's commitment to keeping Diana's legacy alive was especially clear in the emotional speech he gave at her funeral. Speaking to millions of people across the globe, he called Diana one of the most pursued women of her time. A woman named after the ancient goddess of hunting ended up being the most hunted figure in modern history. His speech deeply moved audiences, showing both the overwhelming affection people had for Diana and the sadness surrounding how she was treated. That moment of openness brought Spencer a great deal of respect and firmly established him as someone who would always stand up for his sister's memory. But his eulogy also had consequences. His strong words about the press and his implied criticism of the royal family led to tension between him and certain royals. The fallout from his speech revealed the difficult position he was in, wanting to honor Diana while also managing his strained ties with the royal family. One of the most emotional truths Spencer has shared in recent years has to do with Diana's funeral procession. He later said that he wasn't told the full story about why his nephews, Prince William and Prince Harry, walked behind her coffin. At the time, Spencer thought they had agreed to it on their own, but later he found out that wasn't the case. Looking back, Spencer said it was the hardest moment of his life. He felt deep pain knowing how much pressure had been put on them during such a private and painful moment. This also showed how much stress Diana's sons faced after she died. Over the years, Spencer has shown how much he cares for his nephews through his public comments. He has often praised their courage during that time and continued to speak out against how the media still invades their lives. Besides reflecting on Diana and her legacy, Spencer has also spoken about his own life and the challenges he has faced as the 9th Earl Spencer. He took over the family estate, Althorpe, which is also where Diana is buried. He has worked to preserve its history and maintain it as a meaningful tribute to his sister. At the same time, Spencer has been open about his personal struggles, including his journey to find peace after dealing with years of emotional pain. His thoughts serve as a reminder of how deeply Diana's life and death continue to affect those around her. Spencer's dedication to keeping her memory alive and his openness about what she went through have helped ensure her story remains relevant for younger generations. At a time when the royal family continues to deal with public opinion and intense media attention, Spencer's words provide a personal view into what life under that kind of pressure is really like. In his emotional memoir, A Very Private School, Spencer reveals the painful abuse he endured as a child. The book gives readers a look into the disturbing realities of his early years, showing the physical and emotional mistreatment he faced from those expected to protect him. He describes his time at a well-known boarding school where staff members used violence and manipulation instead of care. His story was not unique, but reflected a broader pattern of silence and denial within the institution. The school, meant to guide and educate young boys, ended up becoming a place where cruelty was hidden under the excuse of tradition and discipline. The administration focused more on keeping a polished reputation than on the well-being of the students. Spencer found himself in the middle of this harmful environment, where the people in charge acted without being held accountable. He was not the only one affected. His sister Diana also went through similar mistreatment at the hands of the same school staff. The memoir also covers another disturbing part of their childhood involving their nanny. This woman, instead of offering love and support, punished both Spencer and Diana in cruel ways. These events left deep emotional scars that followed Spencer for years. Looking back, he describes how such experiences shaped his mind, creating lasting feelings of fear and mistrust. He explains how hard it was to grow up in a world where the very people who should have offered safety were the ones causing harm. The impact wasn't only physical, it also brought on shame, guilt, and struggles with self-esteem. It wasn't until adulthood that the weight of these hidden traumas finally caught up with him. he suffered a breakdown, overwhelmed by years of buried pain and unresolved memories. That turning point led him to seek therapy, which helped him begin the long process of healing. Writing a very private school became a key part of that journey. Writing became a form of therapy for him, an outlet to process the pain and confusion he had carried for years. By opening up about his experiences, Spencer not only expressed his own struggles, but also gave voice to many others who had endured similar. His transformation from a victim to someone speaking out is a reflection of his strength, and through his work, he aims to offer hope to those who have suffered in silence. By telling his story, Spencer wants to inspire other survivors to come forward, break the silence, and take back their voices. Writing the memoir was not an easy task. It forced Spencer to face some of the most painful parts of his life, bringing back memories he had spent years trying to bury. But revisiting those moments helped him understand his trauma and find a sense of peace he had been missing for a long time. He believes that true healing can only happen when people are honest about what happened. Though painful, this honesty is necessary for both personal growth and social change. For Spencer, the book wasn't just a record of past events. It was a way to reclaim control and move beyond the lasting impact of abuse. While reflecting on his early life, he also talks about privilege and how it connects to pain. Raised in an aristocratic family, he was surrounded by wealth, status, and high expectations. Still, Spencer's story is a clear example that privilege doesn't shield anyone from harm. On the surface, things may have looked ideal, but behind the scenes, his childhood was marked by deep emotional wounds. His experience shows how abuse can remain hidden, even in families that appear perfect. The pressure to uphold the family image and meet society's standards often came at the cost of his mental and emotional health. For children like Spencer and Diana, these expectations created a world where their suffering was often ignored. Spencer's memoir is more than a personal account. It is also a critique of the systems that allow abuse to continue. Despite having a difficult romantic past, including 3 divorces, Spencer, a well-known British aristocrat, now seems to have found peace and stability with his partner, Norwegian archaeologist Dr. Kat German. His previous relationships were often in the public eye, and the media paid close attention to each breakup. But his latest relationship has brought him a sense of happiness and stability he had been missing for years. Their story began in 2021, when Yerman started an archaeological project at Althorpe, Spencer's historic family estate. Althorpe is not just the Spencer family home, but also the childhood home of his late sister, Princess Diana, which has kept it in public attention. Yerman, who specializes in ancient history and archaeology, was invited to explore the estate's history. As she worked on the project, she and Spencer initially built a professional connection, which slowly grew into a close friendship. That friendship soon developed into something deeper. Their shared appreciation for each other's work and mutual love of history became the starting point for a romantic bond. When they first met, Spencer was going through a tough separation from his third wife, Karen Spencer, which eventually ended in divorce in 2024. The end of the marriage, though difficult, gave Spencer a chance to pause and reflect on his life, opening the door to new directions. While dealing with the emotional and mental strain from his earlier divorces, he found comfort and understanding in German's company. Spencer has spoken openly about how her presence helped bring stability back into his life, allowing him to regain clarity and direction. He has described her not just as a caring partner, but as someone full of spontaneity and curiosity, encouraging him to take on fresh experiences and challenges. With her support, Spencer began focusing on personal development and took steps toward healing the emotional wounds left by his past. Their relationship deepened as they discovered shared interests, especially their mutual love for history and examining complex historical themes. Working together on their podcast, The Rabbit Hole Detectives, gave them a chance to explore historical puzzles and unanswered questions, each drawing from their own background and knowledge. The podcast has become a joint project that reflects not only their intellectual connection, but also the growing closeness between them. In their episodes, they dive into various historical subjects, often mixing thoughtful discussion with humor. The success of the podcast has strengthened both their professional relationship and their bond as a couple, giving them a space to explore history together in a way that also connects with a wide audience. The experience has been a meaningful and joyful one for both of them. Despite some public attention on the 18-year age gap between Spencer and German, the couple has stayed grounded. Some critics have questioned the seriousness of their relationship, pointing to the age difference as a concern. But Spencer has defended their connection, saying that what they share feels completely natural and honest. He's made it clear that their relationship goes beyond age and is built on mutual respect, curiosity, and shared values. For him, being with Yerman has offered more than just a romantic connection. It has been a chance for emotional recovery and growth. Spencer has also spoken about how difficult it can be to manage a relationship under the public eye, especially given the attention that comes with his well-known family and the memory of his sister, Princess Diana. Public scrutiny has been intense at times, but Yerman's steady and calm support has helped him stay centered. Her presence has played a key role in helping him rebuild his self-confidence. Spencer also credits her with encouraging him to try new things and explore different points of view, which has added value to both his personal and professional life. Their relationship has been appreciated for the way it balances emotional closeness with intellectual exchange. While Spencer comes from an aristocratic background with a high public profile, Yerman adds depth to their dynamic through her academic background and curious mindset. Her work as an archaeologist, combined with her independent and adventurous spirit, brings a contrast that complements Spencer's more traditional upbringing. They have connected not only through shared interests, but also by learning from each other and embracing life with curiosity. Jarman has spoken about how Spencer's kindness and open-minded attitude have made their relationship feel truly rewarding. She shared that his willingness to explore new ideas and experiences has made it easier for her to open up and share what she loves. Their mutual interest in history has played a big role in their bond, with both of them frequently engaging in conversations that span past events and their future goals. For Jarman, Spencer's genuine curiosity about her work and his encouragement of her career have helped strengthen their relationship. She has mentioned how their deep conversations about historical topics have helped build mutual respect and emotional closeness. For Spencer, his relationship with Jarman has become a fresh chapter filled with new experiences, hope, and mutual exploration. Alongside managing his family's estate, Charles Spencer has also built a respected career as a historian and author. He has written several well-received books that explore the lives of his ancestors and the wider history of British nobility. His writing has not only enhanced his reputation, but also contributed to his financial success. While his personal life has been complex, Spencer's work on the Althorpe estate and his publications have kept him in the spotlight as a key figure in British cultural and historical circles, continuing the legacy of the Spencer family. Now in his 60s, Spencer is focusing on self-improvement and nurturing his relationship with Jarman. He has taken steps to heal from past experiences by embracing therapy, practicing Tai Chi, and exploring mindfulness. Though he hasn't ruled out marriage in the future, he has stressed the importance of moving at a careful pace and focusing on mental and emotional health. His story is one of strength and personal transformation as he honors his sister Diana's legacy while addressing old wounds. Spencer's life shows that no matter the hardships, growth and happiness are still within reach. So thanks for watching this video. Let's know your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more content.